Hola, hola. It's your girl Erika from America. Welcome to the Confidence Chronicles podcast. This podcast is all about helping you stand in who you are. Stop giving a fuck what people think about you. Start standing as your fully expressed self. As you are, queen, as is. There is no filter needed. You are fucking awesome. And I am here to remind you, I'm a confidence coach, a business mentor, a speaker, an author, and I am obsessed with women standing up, showing up, and creating their confidence. And I cannot wait to dig into today's episode with you. All right, my love, today's episode is a little bit weird because I would consider myself a very loud person. I am loud. I am full of life. I am hyper. I don't actually need coffee. I drink it because I like it, but I don't actually need it. I'm a little bit of a crazy person. And my husband, who y'all might know if you listen to the podcast, Erika Cramer, is the opposite. He's quiet. He's zen. He's chill. He does breath work and meditation every day, multiple times a day. He's very inward. He is a crab Cancerian by nature, projector, just very inward person, more chill, more quiet. He could really go a whole day without talking to anyone. And to me, that feels like I would be in jail, just saying. So it's weird that we're talking about being quiet. But I think over the years, as I've continued to unravel and do my work, I have realized that saying less is actually more, that you don't need to fill the space with words. And I was one of those people that I would get in a room and maybe meet, like at a networking event, and meet someone, and I would really struggle with the moment of silence. I would really struggle with quiet. I would really struggle. I would be like, oh no, this is not a good thing. I need to fill the air. I need to say something. Even if it wasn't something I really wanted to say, it would be something I never thought, and I would just speak without thinking, and anything to not keep the space silent. And it's a really interesting, frantic, nervous way to be. And I wouldn't consider myself a nervous person, but my therapist in my first session with her said to me, you have nervous energy. And I was like, excuse me? I was so offended. I was like, I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous about nothing. What are you talking about? And then I was like, oh, you're right. I do have nervous energy. Like, what? It was like so scattered and always busy and doing things. And I'm sure it's my trauma and all the things. And the last 5 years, I swear after 2020, nothing's been the same. And I don't mean it in like, of course, nothing's been the same, but like there's just this elevation of speed of time is going faster, I think, than ever. And there's so much wildness happening. Like after that, it just feels like things got wilder, right? And so she was right. Like my energy's been frantic and it was hectic. And I really struggled in my past with being quiet and being calm. And I didn't associate that with myself. I really held on to the label that I am loud and crazy and hype and out there. And that's not true, because sometimes you might feel loud and crazy and out there. And there'll be other times where you just want to sit and you just want to be quiet. And you don't want to talk to anyone, or you want to be alone, or, you are multi, you are different, you are never the same. And so when you box yourself and put a label on yourself, I feel like for me, it didn't allow me to test out what a quiet version of Erika would feel like. What a sad version of Erika would feel like. It's not an emotion I feel a lot, but what does that feel like for me? And what would it be like to have more silence and to be on my own? Because I love being with people. I am an extrovert, okay? Love it. But how is it when you're on your own and when you have to do something by yourself? And lately, I enjoy, my friend, driving on my own without my kids, without my husband, going nowhere, just driving in silence, or driving and listening to like Michael Bublé, because I be loving my Bad Bunny. But sometimes I want to listen to that, like Diana Krall. You know what I'm saying? Like something weird and different. And I wanted to talk about this because Hamish and I went to a spa. We went to a spa in Melbourne, and we didn't know that it existed, but we were looking for like some Zen time. We had had a real busy week, and our nanny was like, I'm going to watch the kids, you guys go. But we couldn't go too far. So in Melbourne, we found this beautiful spa that we didn't know existed, and it's kind of like a bathhouse. So there's like salt baths, sauna, steam, infrared, salt room, like showers. It was just, it's beautiful, like ice, space, everything. And we're like, we're going to go to this place. And now we went thinking it might be hectic, it might be crazy. It was not that busy at all. But what was the most annoying is that when you go to places like that, where it's an open bathhouse place and it's indoor, obviously there's a bunch of signs with a, a little thing like telling people to be quiet, and it's a quiet space. And I think most people understand the common sense that when you're in a doctor's office, you don't pick up the phone and be like, hey, how are you? When you're in these quiet spaces, obviously you're respectful and you're quiet. But you won't believe there's some people that don't understand that. And there's also some people who I believe don't know how to be quiet. They just don't know how to stop talking. They don't think about that, or they struggle, like I used to be silent. And I remember going to, the Peninsula Hot Springs, another hot springs thing outside once. And years ago, my husband and I decided to go into the silent spa. So it's an outdoor, it's so beautiful. They're like little pools, like thermal spas outside. And we went to one, and it was a quiet one. So everyone in there was quiet. No one was talking. And people would walk by us and stare at us like we were weirdos. Like, what are these guys doing? And we were literally just sitting in a pool that says silent, so nobody was talking, so that everyone in there could just listen to nothing and be in the water and just chill and not have conversations. And I remember the looks that we got from people, and I was like, oh, that's weird. I didn't think anything of it. But then I went away for 5 days to a retreat center by myself. I think that was in 2023. I feel like it was then that I did it. I shared about it on the podcast because, oh my God, did it teach me something. I'd never been away by myself. I'd never been on airplane mode for 5 days without my family, my kids. I didn't call my kids every night. I didn't call my husband every night. I did the first night, and he was like, stop calling us. He was like, we're fine. We'll call the venue if we need you. I got every spa treatment. The food was organic, beautiful food. I went on walks. I chose to stay silent because of my girlfriend, Kemi, who said, be silent at that retreat. And I went to this retreat because I was at my breaking point. And I'm so happy I gave myself those 5 days, because literally the month after that, my mom got sick and shit hit the fan for 2 years. It was 2 years of real hard stuff. So I'm at this retreat center, and the mornings you have these walks that you can go on. You can do these like nature walks, or you can do yoga or breath work. And I was like, I'm going to go on the nature walk. We go on this nature walk. And all these women are like, I took my brother and sister, and I went to my wife's son, and I went to his wedding, and this girl, and I'm just going like, shut the fuck up. Are you for real? Are you for real? Like, shut up. But it was because I wanted to be silent, right? They were there just chilling with the girlfriends, just having a chat. But I was sitting there thinking like, we talk so much shit. Like, you're not even noticing that we're walking in this beautiful like woods, and you're seeing the ground, and you're like, it really made me think, how much do you talk? How much do you not realize? How funny, I'm doing a podcast while I'm telling you this, but you know what I'm saying. Like, how much do you fill the air with noise? How much do you distract yourself? How much are you not present in the moment? I was choosing to be silent, so I was silent, and I went alone. I would never go with a friend to that, because I went there to relax. I went there to unwind. I went there to, actually I need to go back. I said to my husband, I need to go back to Gwingana, because damn, I can't tell you, this place, amazing. And I was seeing how much noise there is, how much we speak, how much we talk, the quality of what we talk about. That's a whole other podcast. What the hell are we talking about? Bullshit, other people, gossip, pendejase, as we would say in Spanish, like dumb shit. We're talking about dumb shit. And I'm listening to these women like cackling, chatting. And I'm like, oh my God, I said to the organizer, I'm not doing the walks because we need silent walks. I can't be doing this. And she's like, go by yourself and go do your own thing. So I did everything that was quiet and silent. And it was so incredible because I didn't speak to people for those days. And when I did finally speak on the last day, I was so mindful about what I was going to say that I even felt like, do I even need to say anything? It was like, I felt that like do less and achieve more. Like, don't say anything and you're saying everything. Like, those things you hear and you're like, what does that mean? But then I actually realized what it meant, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. And I learned a lot about myself because I read a book, the fastest book I've ever, I didn't know I could read one book in 5 days, but I did. I was like, I wish I brought 4 books because I read so much because I wasn't talking. I didn't go on my laptop. I wasn't on my phone. It was on airplane mode, like I said. I had a lot of baths. I did so much journaling. And because I feel like I spent 5 days with myself, I got to know myself so much more. There were things that I allowed myself to write down, that I don't think I would have ever accessed because I don't go that deep, or I'm not that quiet, or I don't spend that much time with myself. Like, we're always with ourselves, right? But are we? You're on your phone. Even on the toilet, we're on the phone. We're with the kids. We're at work. We're watching TV. You're not with yourself. You're with the TV. You're with your partner. You're with your friends. You're at a party. Like, we're always out and about with people. And so this really gave me a moment to go inward. And it was really confronting. And then after like probably 2.5 days, I was like, oh, I like this. This is all right. And the reason I'm sharing this is because when we went to the spa in Melbourne, I thought, oh, we're going to chill. I just want to chill. And girl, I had to shush some mofos. And I didn't even care. I had like no shame. These girls were yelling, a group of women yelling and screaming so loud. And like there's shush signs everywhere. And it got me and Hamish thinking, we're like, why is it that people struggle so much to be quiet and sit in silence? And then I started thinking about myself and why I used to struggle. And like the last thing I was present. I was never present. I was always in my head, in the past, in the future, stressing, thinking. I was anywhere but here. I was anywhere but here. Would constantly be thinking about other people, remembering the past, or stressed and anxious about the future, or wondering what that person was thinking, or wondering how my family was doing, or wondering how I was in other people's business, as Byron Katie says. She says there's God's business, which is like nature, God, spirit, things you can't control. And then there's other people's business, like your kids, your husband, your friends, your neighbors, people on social media. And then there's your business. And she says that anytime you leave your body in your present moment, you're in other people's business, or you're in God's business. And no wonder we feel lonely when you're not in yourself. If you're not in yourself, who's with you? You're lonely. And so it was a really massive moment where I got to realize, and here we are in Melbourne, and I was just like, nah. And talk about confident confrontation. I wasn't an asshole, but I was like, shh, chill, like, keep it down. And they just looked at me shocked, like, I can't believe this lady just told me to shush. I'm like, I can't believe your ass is so loud in this place, and I'm trying to relax, girl. And they did shush, and I'm sure they felt offended and pissed off, and I don't care, because I'm like, if we at a concert, are we out? Cool, let's be loud and scream and kick and shout and do all that. But like, we're at a spa. And so I wanted to bring it to you and say, how do you feel about silence? Are you feeling the air? How do you feel about being quiet? Are you quiet? Are you too quiet? If you're too quiet, this podcast is not for you. I should have said at the beginning, right? But sometimes even the quiet ones, maybe you're quiet, but your mind is very loud. And you're still not in the present moment. You're shy, you're introverted, you're making it think like, oh my God, people are looking at me. I don't know if they think I'm stupid. I don't want to say anything. What if they did? Like, sometimes quiet people are very loud in their head. They're quiet on the outside, but their brain is going off. And they're not thinking about what's happening right now. They're in their head about anxiety or future or past or present or whatever. And they're not here. And so I wanted to bring this to you and have you think about the fact that sometimes you do need a bit of silence. Sometimes less is actually more. And there's a possibility that you're trying to fill the air because you feel discomfort in the silence. Because you feel like if I'm quiet, I have to sit with what is. I have to be here now. And I don't want to be here. I want to escape my reality. And if you feel like that, I would ask you to journal as you're listening to this, or when you finish this. What are you trying to escape, run away from? I had so many clients in my programs who were always busy. They're like, I'm doing so many things and I'm burning out. And I'm like, what are you running away from? They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, why are you staying so busy? What are you trying to not feel or not see or not think about? Every time, tears. And they were just like, okay, so. And I'm like, all right, here we go. There's something that we're running away from. There's something that we're avoiding. There's something that we're keeping ourselves busy filling. What if there was nothing? What if there was space? What if there was silence? How does that make you feel? What could you discover and find in that space of nothingness? We're always going to bring something into nothing. We have minds, right? We have hearts, we have thoughts, we have ideas. Our brain thinks about things. But what would happen if you got quiet? If you took some time to sit, to space, to just be with yourself? To retreat. That's what retreat means, is retreat. Pull away from life. Pull away from things. and give yourself that space. Imagine what could happen. And if you're like, I haven't done that, I have never sat with myself, I haven't given myself the time or the space, you are not alone, because I never did it either. I run retreats. We have a retreat coming up at the end of 2025, November. Would love to host you. I'll drop the link in the show notes. But like this retreat, I facilitate retreats, but this was for me. I was not facilitating. I was being facilitated. And I had nothing to do, nowhere to be, no agenda, no calendar, no person waiting for me, no kids asking me. I was like, whoa, I don't know this part of myself. I didn't have to look after my husband or my children or anyone. Just had to take care of myself. And it was so uncomfortable and so hard. And so maybe that's calling you. Maybe you spending some time with yourself. Maybe going to breakfast by yourself. Start small if you don't like to do that. I hated going out alone. I would always want to have my phone or something to do. I couldn't just be. And now I'm so much better at it. Now I love to be on my own, but it took a while. It took a lot of work to get there, but I can't recommend it enough. Setting some time away. Every time we do a retreat, when people are out of their normal habitats and homes and rituals and the things that they do day to day, they're out of that routine and schedule. They come to this house to be with us for 5 nights, 6 days. I cannot tell you, just having space and time away from your family, away from life, and pausing and airplane moding your phone, not bringing your laptop, no TV, and just being in beautiful nature and doing the work on yourself, oof, you leave completely a new person, completely transformed, shedding everything that's not yours anymore. It's literally like a five years of therapy in 5 days. It feels like the ultimate rebirth that you could have. And most of it, obviously we do cool shit and it's amazing and shamanic healing, but most of it is facilitated because you are out of your normal environment for 5 days, stopping and giving yourself time and space. So whether you can come to a retreat or not, or go off to Gwingana or not, can you give yourself some time? Can we start with 5 minutes? Can we start with 1 day? Can we start with an hour? What can you do? Can you get quiet so you can tap into yourself? And if you do get quiet and tap into yourself, can you see that there's something that maybe you've been running away from or maybe you've been avoiding? This is all stuff to journal on. And if you want to learn more about retreat, it's freaking amazing. We have women from all over the world that join us. And Hamish facilitates with me. It's shamanic healing. It's crying in your pajamas. It's a no mascara zone. It is so deep and beautiful. The release retreat is happening November 10 to 15 in Melbourne. So get yourself over to the link in the show notes if you want to learn more about it. And the retreat that I went to, Gwingana, is incredible as well. It's also in Australia. Whatever you do, take some time today to reflect on this. Am I good on my own? Can I be quiet? Can I be still? What does that mean for me? And what happens to me when I'm called to those moments? That's what I want you to marinate on. I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for listening. I freaking love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for your ears and your energy and your attention. Thank you for letting me into your world. And thank you so much for listening and tuning in to this podcast. There are so many podcasts you can listen to, and I deeply, deeply, for real, appreciate you listening to mine. Do me one big favor, one big thing. Please share this episode or this podcast with a woman who you know needs to hear this. This is my mission on planet Earth, to serve as many women as possible so that we could show up, stand up, speak up, and create the confidence and the life that we desire. I appreciate you, my love. I will see you on the next episode.